Hey everyone! For our flipped classroom today, we are going to be going over argumentative writing. How to write arguments to support claims with clear reasons and relevant evidence is what you should be walking away with today. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to introduce a claim or claims. In other words, you'll be able to state your point clearly, acknowledge and distinguish the claim or claims from alternate or opposing claims, so people who have stated the same point as you, either for or against what you're saying, you're going to draw attention to it and why your statement is more powerful than the other's statements, and organize the reasons and evidence logically. Support a claim or claims with logical reasoning and relevant evidence using accurate, credible sources and demonstrated understanding of the topic or text. So if you just spout a bunch of information but don't actually sound like you know what you're talking about, you're not really going to be taken seriously. Next, you will establish and maintain a formal style. You want to be very professional in your writing, otherwise, again, you will not be taken seriously. And finally, you will provide a concluding statement or section that follows from and supports the argument presented. So it will all come together in a nice big bow. What is the goal of this piece? For our warm-up today, we are going to read this article from the Sheridan Press on July 8th, 2016, titled "The Lessons We Teach Our Youth." If nobody speaks up, nothing changes. That seems to have been the case within the girls' softball program run through the Sheridan Recreation District in recent years. While boys who play t-ball take to a baseball field with dugouts, a backstop, and dirt, girls of the same age are relegated to the grass field at Dan Medea Field. Older girls do get to play on real fields, but they have to play in the grass to get there. Only about 100 girls participate in softball compared to the 300 to 400 who compete in baseball. Until this year, it seems, parents, coaches, and the girls settled for the circumstances. This year, though, parents and coaches have spoken out. The press discussed the parents and coaches' concerns in a July 7th article. The response has been strong. The article has been shared repeatedly, and SRD staff has said they've received phone calls about the situation. Responses have ranged from attempts to justify the situation to outright disappointment. SRD's executive director, Richard Wright, has said the field that Dan Medea are smaller, cooler to play on in the summer, and the ball doesn't travel as fast in the grass. Girls can't handle dirt, heat, or a hard-hit ball, but boys can? In addition, Wright said the fields at 6th Street aren't designed for softball, yet the older girls play there without issues and enjoy it. A program manager at SRD, Colton Thompson, offered plans for future adjustments to make the programs increasingly fair. Wright said SRD would approach the girls' parents to contribute financially to the creation of a dedicated softball field on the north side of town, a project unlikely to happen quickly. Doubleday Park, a planned baseball complex for the north side of Sheridan, has been talked about for years. Fixes should be put in place now. It may seem like an overreaction to some. If the situation is teaching the girls that they are less important, we are also teaching the young boys that girls are less important. That does not create a future of equal opportunities for our youth. So as we went through that, hopefully you picked up that the issues at hand include that the girls are not being given a fair accommodations for their sport, and that ultimately what we are teaching the youth of today is that boys are more important than girls, and what the sports that they play deserve more attention and better accommodations. So we just read one, but to really break it down, here's a video about just exactly what an argumentative essay is by Schmoop.
We speak student.
Argument essay, a la Schmoop. Is Beaver's hair more awesome than Cousin It's? Should weekends be extended to 4 days instead of the measly 2 we currently have? Are dogs better than cats?
Say cats are better.
No matter how you answered any of these questions, you're already in the thick of an argument. And hopefully you didn't tick off any cats in the process. They're unforgiving creatures. In writing, arguing has nothing to do with the decibel level of your voice. You're wrong. An argument essay persuades your readers to make a change. This change could be a mental change, a different way of thinking, or an actual change in a policy or practice. It's wide open. Here's a classic example. I'm 16 years old and I just got my driver's license. Therefore, I'm clearly more than capable capable of driving your new Porsche Turbo. Try saying that to one of your parents, and he or she will probably say, yeah, right. But give them evidence and support your claim. Show them how you can drive in reverse in a straight line for 100 feet, and parallel park a Hummer into a parking spot meant for motorcycles, and you just might succeed in changing their mind. So when you're presenting an argument, your reader must see things from your point of view. You can't let them just brush it off because they don't agree with you right off the bat. It's on you to persuade them by providing support for your arguments and effectively shooting down any potential counter-arguments. All through it, keep your tone civil and polite, or your reader will toss aside your paper. So how is this puppy organized? You've got your intro, a thesis that states your overall opinion. The body of the essay will have your supporting points, and finally your conclusion in which you wrap things up neatly. If that seems like a bit much, don't panic. Schmuck's Writing Guide has help and more info on these terms. The argument essay is the most important kind of academic paper because most essays have an element of argumentation, even if it isn't immediately obvious. After all, why are you writing anything at all if it isn't to convince someone of something? The personal statement that you will be writing to get into college, it's an argument that you're awesome. That long Facebook status you just posted about how Taken 2 is the best movie of all time? That's right. You're trying to persuade your reader that the oft-derided film is in fact misunderstood. If you're going to turn anyone to your side in this instance, though, let's hope you have a very particular set of skills. See what we mean? Now go on, argue. We can see your chopping a bit.
All right, hopefully with that video you have a better understanding of just what exactly we're diving into today. Next, I will need you guys to sign into your Smart Lab and participate in this activity. Make sure that you have that completed before our next physical class. Moving on, as the video stated, you want to start your argumentative essay with a strong thesis. So just exactly what is a thesis? A thesis is a statement or theory that is put forward as a premise to be maintained or proved. So in other words, if you say that chocolate chip cookies are the best cookies that were ever invented, you better have a theory as to why that is and be ready to back up your claims. The following are some steps to a solid argumentative essay. Number one, brainstorm. Really take some time to think about what it is you're going to be talking about. Make sure it's something that you're passionate about and have a good, solid few minutes of thought as to what the purpose of your argument is going to be. Next, group the ideas. Don't just spew a bunch of information or feelings on the matter. Just really sit down and figure out where you want to say what and what it is exactly that you want to say. Next, substantiate them with facts. Facts are not feelings. Saying that chocolate chip cookies are the best ones in the world because they make me feel happy, that's not a solid, while it is a fact for you, it's irrelevant to another human being. So you want to have really scientific reasons as to why chocolate chip cookies are the best cookies in the world. Present the ideas logically. Again, it's kind of going back to grouping the ideas. Make sure that the way in which you're presenting your information makes sense. Just spouting off about all these facts that you found on the internet, whether they're valid or not, doesn't really matter if they're not put together in a logical way. Ultimately, you have to prove your thesis statement. So, as I said, when you write your thesis, and we'll click back here, a statement or theory that is put forward as a premise to be maintained or proved, you have to all together come back to that original point that you're trying to make and explain why it's true. So that is the ultimate goal of argumentative writing. Finally, your assignment. So choose a world issue you feel passionately about. I am leaving this wide open to you. It's whatever you want. If you are passionate about um, wolves and being killed in Yellowstone, or maybe GMOs, or anything you want, anything you are passionate about, brainstorm it a while and make that your topic. I want it to be a 2 to 4 page paper arguing your stance. And again, make sure you're keeping it professional. As usual, APA format, typed, Times New Roman 12-point font, double spaced. If you're struggling at all with the APA format, there's always the Purdue OWL website to help you make sure that you are following the proper guidelines. I want you to use at least 3 sources, and at least one of them has to be a print source. Print source is not dead yet, and we are going to continue to use it, so be sure to allocate some time to hit up the library. I'm sure the librarians would be happy to help you find some information on your topic. If you need anything from me, you can always shoot me an email, or I will see you in class, and we can discuss any questions you have. All right, guys, I will see you during our next class period together.